Hi everybody, sanibonani. Welcome to my channel. Igama lami Ntando Mdletshe, and on this channel sikhuluma ama-reality TV shows, ama-celebrities kanye nama-YouTubers. Guys, imagine this, imagine this. You wake up in the morning. It's a normal day for you as a mother. You have four beautiful, beautiful kids. You wake up as a mother of four. You get your three kids, the youngest, ready for school because, of course, your first born is old enough now to take care of herself and get herself to school. Kunemoto kamolume that fetches her and gets her to school. So you are not worried about her. You get your kids ready for school. You are rushing to work because you yourself has a 9 to 5 as a teacher. So normal day, you guys, in many, many households, you get your kids to school, everything is done, you leave, and then your oldest is going to leave because that is your normal routine, leaves, and then your husband, who is about to become your ex-husband because he has been served with the divorce papers, also leaves. That is your normal routine. Okay, you wake up as a mother of four, but imagine by the end of that day, you go to bed and you do not have any of your kids. Your kids' life have been taken. Your kids have been taken away from you. You wake up as a mother of four. By the time you go to bed, you have none of that. Okay, this is what happened to this beautiful lady here, Uxolisa, you guys. Uxolisa had four kids. From the calculations, I feel like she must have had Ayake when she was much, much, much younger. Okay, she had her, and I guess the relationship with her father didn't really work out, and then she met someone else whom we are going to talk about right now, who is Sibusiso Mpungose, who is the biological father of these three kids here. Things seem to be looking up for them. If you're looking at their pictures online, they look like, one of those families that you are like, goals. It's family goals. They look like they had made things work for them, and he looked like he loved all of the kids, even the firstborn, who was not his child. But you guys, what we see in pictures, it's not really what is going on in people's homes. Okay, I want you to imagine again, you guys, being in school. Those times when we were in high school, and now it's about you about to have that assembled time to close off the day so that you can go to school. Like I say, you guys, Ayake was already old enough to be taking care of herself, so she was getting herself to school and getting herself back home. So she wasn't a child that will need somebody to get her to school and also fetch her from school. Okay, so she is there, and with her friends, Guya Pitizela is Kati. They are about to go home, but they are still at school. So she looks and she sees her stepfather, and her stepfather is looking around like he is looking for her. But she is thinking, what is my stepfather doing here at my school? Because he's not supposed to fetch me. Something doesn't sit well with her, to a point where she says to her friends, listen, you guys, you see, that is my stepfather. I think the reason he's looking around is because he is looking for me. But I don't understand why he's looking for me, because he was not supposed to be here. And also, he's not supposed to fetch me from school because he doesn't fetch me from school. But listen, let me hide here, because the story is she tried to hide from her stepfather. Let me hide. But if he finds me, you guys, do me a favor. If he finds me, make sure that you let my mother know that he is the one that came and fetched me. You guys, when I say, I've said in my other video that they say in Zulu, umzimba uyakhuluma, a dead body speaks. I believe that there was a moment where a dead body was speaking, because that was the last time that Ayake's friends ever saw her. The next time that they were going to see her was when they were attending her funeral, which was very, very unfortunate, you guys. So this is a story that is taking place here in South Africa, in KZN. Okay, so Umaga ayakhe, you guys, uXoliswa was actually married to Sibusiso Mpungose, and they were married. A lot of people, when they talk about this family, they do say that from what the reports are reporting, that they thought it was a happy family. uXoliswa was a very, very loving mother, and futhi noSibusiso was a loving father. Not only did he love his own biological children, which were the three children, three younger children, but he also really loved Ayake, guys, from what they were saying. Okay. But people really close to the situation, they do say that at the beginning of their relationship, it looked like things were okay between them, but and then after some time, it looks like his personality, Kasbusiso, changed. He became more reserved, and the relationship between Usibusiso kanye noXoliso became abusive. So he was physically abusive to her, you guys. From what I've listened to from this documentary, that is, by the way, on Show Max, they don't talk about him ever being abusive to the kids, you guys, but that is because nobody ever talked about it, nobody ever reported it. But they do talk about the fact that he was abusive towards the end of their relationship. He was abusive towards Xoliso, and that is the reason that she initiated a divorce from this guy. And for whatever reason, they decided that while they were going through a divorce, they were still going to live under the same roof, you guys. They were still going to live under the same roof. So when he was served the divorce papers, he was served the divorce papers while in the house. As much as the younger kids were not really aware of what was happening between the mother and their father, the teenager here was aware of what was happening, you guys, because of course she was older. So when the divorce papers were actually served, you guys, she was aware that the stepfather had been served with the divorce papers, and that he wasn't happy with the fact that he was served with the divorce papers, because from what he said in court is that he did not agree with the divorce decision. He did not want to divorce. He did not want to be separated from his family because he loved his family very much. But something must have been going on in that family, so much so that Xoliso felt that she wasn't safe. This was not a safe space for her to be when she is with this man, you guys. I do not know, nothing is mentioned about what the plan was in terms of whether they were planning to continue living together after the divorce was done, whether they were planning to go their separate way. Now, nobody's saying that, but they were living in this house, you guys. So let's talk about the day that I am talking about when I say that the mother woke up being a mother of four, and by the end of the day, none of her children were alive that day because their lives had been taken. I did say at the beginning of this video that it was their normal routine that first the mother will wake up, get the younger kids ready for school, take them to school, and then go to work. And then the older kid will also be left behind to get ready for school. And then Umalume would come and fetch the child. And then after that, the father will also leave, even though they are not specific as to what job he used to do, but they said there was the normal routine. But he changes the routine today, because instead of him waking up and going to work, if that is where he was supposed to be going, he goes to a hardware, you guys, and he buys the locks to the house. He buys new locks to the house, and he comes back to the house and makes sure that he changes the locks to the house. Why? Maybe you will know as the story continues, you guys. That very same day, he requests from the e-hailing system, which at the time was known as Taxify, and now it is known as Bolt. He goes to the younger children's school and collects the kids. Like I said, you guys, because he was known as a very good father, even at the school, they knew him as a father. So when he came to fetch the kids, nothing was strange there. You know, they don't say whether he fetched the kids after school or during like if the school was not done, okay, but he fetches the kids. Nobody thinks anything is strange there. It's a 10-year-old, it's a 6-year-old, and a 4-year-old. He takes them back to the house, okay. When he gets to the house, I don't know that if it became heavy for him to have to commit whatever it is that he wanted to commit at the time, that he felt like it's going to be too much to do it when all the three children are here. But he decides that he's going to send the older kids of the younger kids, which is a 10-year-old, to the shops. While the others are left, he uses the gown robes, you guys. We have those robes in our nightgowns. He uses their own nightgown robes to tie them up, and then he puts them in different rooms, and then he does the unthinkable, you guys, which is to hang them in the rooms, you guys. They said that he hanged them on the butler guards, you guys. So my assumption is that it's the butler guards on the windows, because in a lot of the houses you don't have butler guards on the doors inside the house. You will have them on the outside doors. So if it was maybe in the bedrooms, or maybe it was on the windows. And remember, these are young kids, so they're not as heavy. I guess this is something that was reasonably not as hard physically for him to do it. Emotionally, we don't know, because we don't even know if this person is normal to be able to commit such a crime, you guys. When the 10-year-old comes back, he does the same thing to a 10-year-old. After that, he locks all doors to the house. Remember, he has changed the locks. Okay, I don't know if the purpose for this was for it to be harder for the mother to get in the house, so that maybe it takes longer for him to get there, so that he makes sure that by the time she gets to the house, the children are already gone. I don't know, but he locks the house. He leaves. He requests again from the e-hailing system, which is taxi file, and goes to the school of Ayake, who is the firstborn. He gets there. That scene takes place where she sees him and tries to hide from him, because, guys, listen, as an older sibling, of course, she had seen some of the abuse, maybe between the mother and the father, and also knew what was going on between the two of them. And for some reason, this was very strange for her, that she is being fetched by that stepfather. And remember, this is a stepfather to her, it's not her biological father. But after he finds her, he takes her, says that he is taking her to go fetch the mother from the school. Remember, the mother is a teacher too. So takes her and then requests, and then they get off a car somewhere in the bushes of New Germany, and just pulls her by the arm. Remember, you guys, the relationship between the two, this is somebody that has been like a father figure to you. So as much as you might not trust him, but at the same time, there's that thing that you respect them as well. You have to respect your father. So if he's saying, let's go here, even though everything in you, in your mind, in your body, in your spirit is saying this is not right, but you are thinking, but this is my father. What is the worst thing that can happen here? Maybe he's just kidnapping me so that he can get my mother's attention. Maybe he's going to call my mother, and then they're going to talk and sort things out, and I will be free. I do not think that that child knew that that was her last day on earth, and the cause of that was going to be this person that had been acting like a father to her. But the result of that day is that at some point, there in the bushes, he manages to strangle her to death, you guys. That is how Ayaka passes on that day, you guys. Because she was much older, this was not an as easy task for him. And he says that in court, because she fights back, you guys. She tries to save her life when she realizes that the worst thing that you can ever think of is happening here. This person is trying to take a life. So she fought a lot, you guys. So it wasn't as easy. And as much as they believe that he wanted to do the same to her that he had done to the other children, he doesn't manage to do that, because she is bigger physically, and also she is fighting. So the thing that he manages to do was to strangle her and leave her there. He does try to take his own life, which he fails, because cowards do fail even to do the simplest of tasks, which is save the society by just leaving the earth. He fails to do that. Okay. So now the mother gets home. When she gets home, because she says, as much as the kids will get home before her, but it wouldn't be a long time before she actually gets home. And remember, the older daughter was taking herself to school and back home. When she gets home, she tries to open the doors, it's locked. Okay. It's all she is shocked, okay, to a point where the police are called and they get to break in the house. But while in that, her moving from the school to the house, at some point she gets a message on WhatsApp that her ex-husband, or a husband who was about to be an ex-husband, had opened a WhatsApp message and put some people there. And when she asked, because she had been on the WhatsApp, I believe, when she had asked, what's happening here? He had said, listen, we will meet back at home and I will explain it to you. By the way, you guys, this is him. This is him. Okay. So he says that he will explain when they get back home. So by the time she gets home, she already has a weird feeling about it. Where are my kids? She probably just wants to see her kids. And when she gets home, it's locked. The police are called. They do manage to break into the house. They get in. And when she goes into the different rooms, then she sees her kids. You guys imagine going into one room and seeing your child on that burglar guard, you know, everything on display. Okay. Imagine how you would react. But you can't just think about the child that you are seeing there hanging, you guys. You start thinking, what about my other child? And then my other one, and then my other one, because she had 4 kids. So imagine the panic. Now they're trying to see if they can save this child, and then she goes to the next room. It's the same scene. To the next room, it's the same scene. By the time you get to the third child, you have screamed all of the screams that you can ever scream. Okay, I'm surprised that she is still alive today, you guys. Now you've discovered your 3 kids. Now you're thinking, where is my firstborn? Okay, they go to the school to go look for the firstborn, because of course she hasn't arrived at home. When they get to the school, everybody says, the stepfather did fetch her. The friends do tell that story of how the stepfather had come, and how, you guys, she had said that they must tell the mother that he was the one that they had fetched. I guess the friends didn't really think it was an emergency, that they did not think that right after the stepfather had taken her, they called the mother. They just thought, oh, she said we must tell the mother. So I guess if the mother asks where she is, we will tell the mother where she is. So that's what they did. When the mother eventually came and they were asked, go to, where is your friend? They were like, actually, she said we must tell you that her father or her stepfather fetched her. Remember, this was somebody that they had known to have raised Akai. So they were, as much as they were alarmed by the fact that she said to them, listen, this is strange that he is fetching me. So tell my mother this, but they also knew him to be a father to her. So there were those mixed feelings there. And he knew that, you guys, he knew that people would trust that he's not gonna harm the kids. That's why people freely handed the kids to him. You're handing the kids to somebody that is their father, you guys. Now the police are now trying to search for this guy. And the best thing that they had was the records from the e-hailing business that he had requested from. They're trying to trace the driver, because the emails, like when you request from Bolt, you get the email to confirm the booking, and the email had gone to the mother's address. So she had seen that he had gone to the kids' school, but she also wasn't alarmed so much to think that he would hurt the kids. So now they are trying to trace the guy that had actually taken him to fetch the daughter and also drop them off forever, so they can find out where he dropped them off. The driver, obviously, they get hold of him. He explained what happened. He took them and dropped them by the bush. They go in the search, and the daughter is found. And the worst has happened. The woman has lost all her 4 kids, you guys. That whole night, the police tried to search for him, because it was quite obvious who had done it. Who else could be a suspect in this whole thing? But imagine how the mother is feeling, you guys. Imagine how the mother is feeling at this point. I mean, if she can still breathe, I don't know, you guys. I don't know. So then they're searching for him. What he did, do you know what this guy did after? Do you know what he did? This one. Do you know what he did? He went to drink. He went to drink. That's what he did. After taking the lives of 4 of his own kids, he went to drink. Okay. So the whole night they are searching the area Yaguatabega, because of course people had seen him around, but they did not know that the guy had committed such a crime. So they were just seeing him at tavern, he was drinking or whatever. So now the police are searching for him. Now he knows that people are searching for him. They get hold of one of his friends, and the friend is like, hey, actually, I'm with him here on the phone. They were communicating on the phone. I am not sure if he was telling a friend what he had done, but at some point, the friend is able to help the police, because now the friend is with the police to try and get him, because at some point they get him somewhere by the bridge where he is trying to take his own life, which he doesn't do, because you know why? He's a coward. Taking your own life is not an easy thing. So I'm not even sure how he was able to do such horrible things to his own kids when he is such a coward. Okay, this is a man that a woman was deciding that she was walking away from a relationship and he just couldn't take that. He decided to do the most cowardice of things, okay, which was take the lives of his own kids. Okay, so the whole night the police are working, they're calling, extra backup, because they are like, listen, this guy is in this area. Some people are calling to say we saw him this side of the area. The other people are calling, we saw him this side of the area, but eventually they caught. Even when they are catching him, at some point they see him, he picks up the bricks, he's wanting to throw it at the police, he's wanting to throw it at the guy, but he, at this point when they finally catch him, he is really, really drunk, to a point where they feel like they cannot even take a statement from this person, they cannot talk to him. They basically just have to wait until he is sober for him to actually tell them what is happening. So, but the police move swiftly, because immediately when they arrest him, they decide to take his clothes, they take the swabs under his nails, because they knew that this guy, like, remember, the firstborn had fought him, so obviously, and also they do say that his body had a lot of scratches, so that gives you a picture that Ayake really did fight her stepfather before her life was taken, you guys. So then he is arrested, and they are able to confirm that, yes, indeed, it is him. Okay. The police do say that usually they will speak to the suspect, and then after speaking to the suspect, they would give him an opportunity to speak to the family. But in this case, they did make a decision to speak to the family themselves. I guess they wanted to just say to the family, listen, can you just get him to tell us the truth, as to what happened? I mean, the least that this mother deserves is to just know what happened to her child, you guys, her children. Okay. So after that, when he gets sober, he tells them that he is ready to speak to them, and that he was going to tell them everything that had happened, you guys. This is the story that he tells, you guys. Honestly, I don't know if I believe the story, but he does say that, of course, they were in a relationship. It was good. He loved the fact that he had a family, but at some point things didn't started not to go well, and the wife decided that she was done. She wanted out of the marriage and initiated a divorce. And yes, he was saved the divorce papers, but he did not want to divorce his wife. But in addition to that, he does say that at some point, one of his children was playing with the phone, and he had looked in the phone and saw that there was a picture in the phone of Ayake with her father. Okay. And when he looked in the phone, it was a recent photo. So he asked the mother, how come Ayake has a recent photo of her and her father? Because I thought you and her father had broken up. And the mother is like, yeah, but she went and visited her father, and they took a phone, and that's why we have a recent photo. They say at some point he changes the story to say, no, when he was looking in the phone, a WhatsApp message popped up, and the photo on WhatsApp, the profile photo was that of Ayake and her father, and then he was finding out what happened, and there were messages there that indicated that she cheated, and then basically he had made a conclusion that his wife was cheating on him with Ayake's father. That's the reason he decided to take the lives of all of the children, because he couldn't take that. Okay. He's not even saying that he took the lives of his children because he was being divorced. Okay, he said he took the life of his children because he believed that his wife was cheating on him, which doesn't make sense because they were getting a divorce. Because even if she wanted to get back with the father of her firstborn, if it's true, because it looks like there is no concrete evidence that that was happening, because the explanation that is given for the photo is that Ayake was somebody that was in contact with her biological father. So of course, if she went and visited the father, she would take photos with him. And also, when she was communicating with her father, she would communicate using her mother's phone. So if there were messages on the mother's phone with the biological father, it would be because he was communicating directly with his daughter, but through the mother's phone. Okay. So this man, you guys, took the lives of all of his three biological kids and the fourth one, which was his stepkid that he had helped to raise. Took their lives because he thought that his wife was cheating on him. And there is no evidence whatsoever. They do talk about how in court, as much as he did tell the story of what happened, at least he was admitting to being the one that committed the murders, that he did not show any remorse at all, even to a point when his wife was sitting in the dock talking about how sad it was that she had lost all her four children and how it was very difficult for her to go to school. Remember, she worked as a teacher. It was very difficult for her to go to school because she has to be around children, because now it makes her think about her children. Even to that point, when the wife would be crying in court, this man right here never even shed a tear to show that he was remorseful for what he had done. He ended up being convicted to 4 life imprisonment, life in prison, basically. I don't know why 4. Oh, 4, because the children are, there's 4 children, I guess. Yes. So he got 4 life imprisonment, you guys. These are the type of people that we should never ever have in our society. The fact that he wasn't even showing any remorse at all, even after it was very clear that what he thought, the affair that he thought existed, did not actually exist. He did not even say, you know what, I regret it. Well, according to this documentary. Guys, this is a documentary on Showmax called Imibuzo. They do a story per episode. This was episode 10, you guys. I did this story because it was very, very interesting to me. I'll probably do 1 or 2 more. But yes, you guys, listen, when it comes to domestic violence, you guys, sometimes I feel like I don't know what's the right thing to do. You walk out of a relationship, they find you, they kill you. Okay, you try and negotiate the exit, because this is a mother that looks like she was negotiating the exit. Listen, I don't want to be in this marriage anymore, but if it works for us, for you to still stay in the house so that you can take care of the kids, and then I can, let's do it while we are all here so that we can show the kids that we are making this decision together. Still the kids, so you don't know, you guys. It looks like, even people will say that if you see the red flags, sometimes women will see the red flags and they'll be trying to get away because they've seen the red flags, and they still die because they are trying to get away as early as possible. So sometimes, you guys, it feels like there is no answer. The answer doesn't lie with what a woman does, because there is something wrong with these men and something needs to be done so that these men can be okay to be in relationships and to be fathers and to be mothers and to be okay with the fact that sometimes relationships don't work out. And when people walk away from the relationship, you can also just walk away and start over just like everybody else. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Please like it before Pumegiona, and also tell me what you think about this story in the comment section, because it is sad, you guys. It is very, very, very sad. Anyway, Ginitanda Kakul.